Is the digital age eroding our human touch? Dive into a riveting discussion with industry leaders as they tackle the delicate dance between automation and personal connection. Join Rym Benchaar from Partner Propel as she interviews me on an upcoming white paper unveiling cutting-edge trends in tech and cybersecurity. Discover how to prioritize relationships over technology and how that can drive growth in today's digital landscape. Let's dive in. Yes, I can.
This
Yes.
meeting is
Okay,
being
perfect.
recorded.
I think what I was saying is I wanted to kind of set some context on why we're doing these calls and introduce myself, and then we can kind of get started. So, my name is Reem. I'm the founder of Partner Propel, and what we do is we are a growth partner for companies mostly in the tech space, and we help them grow their revenue mostly through based on performance and revenue share. And essentially, what we're doing right now is we're really trying to understand the market as much as possible. First of all, to help us better support our partners, but also to kind of give back some value in the form of a white paper for anybody in the industry, any leaders who's curious about what are the main trends right now. So we've been conducting a good amount of these interviews, and what I'd like to do today is ask you for your perspective, ask you if you're seeing any big trends happening, and I'm also happy to share what other leaders, founders mostly have shared with me as well, so that it's valuable to you too. So
Okay.
that's the plan. Yeah.
I will try my best because I just started my MSP, although I do
Oh,
a great company also. So yes, I do follow trends, but not as closely as I should probably. But I will do my best to help.
yeah, for sure. And again, every little like value nugget is helpful for us in the white paper, but I want to make sure this is valuable as
Okay.
well for you. So if you need to be be brought up to speed with what's going on, I'm happy to share what I'm hearing from others. So
Okay.
cool. So maybe we can start by just if you can give me an introduction of what you do, your business. I'd love to hear more about that, and then we can dive into the trends.
Yes. Now, will this recording be just for internal use, or will this be used for marketing also?
Yes, so interview is only for just for internal purposes. It allows me to aggregate, the transcript, the data, and then it's going to make my life easier putting together the white paper.
Perfect.
But if you want to use this for yourself, for your social media, or in any way you can, I'm happy to send you the recording after the call if you want that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I'll do that.
All right. So we'll begin.
Yes, tell me about yourself, your business, just an introduction, that would be great.
Yes. So I work for a company as an IT and cybersecurity compliance officer, and I manage about 40 locations. And then also I have my own managed service provider that I started, and I'm starting to grow that business. And I have one company that I manage right now, but I'm working to get more leads for that to grow that. And I work in the healthcare industry. So we're looking to kind of do like healthcare clinics, doctors, orthopedics, anything in that health related, not necessarily hospitals right now. I can't do that on taking right at this moment. So yeah, so I'm looking to so my whole goal with all this is to kind of fill the gap of knowledge out there. There's a lot of misinformation and information out there in the healthcare space and the technology space. And people are just kind of overwhelmed by all that information. So I want to be able to help them, guide them through that, through my YouTube channel and through working with them. Not try to directly sell to them, but be of service to them, help them with their pain points, or see pain points they may not have, and just navigate that with them without trying to hard pressure sell or anything. And if they see we're a fit, then we can have another conversation, and then we can work together, see how we can help their business. But mainly through human connection. That's my biggest thing. Within technology, there's a lot of lacking of that or thereof. There's so much, oh, I understand this tech. I can't explain it or communicate with you about it. Just buy this, you need it. And we need less of that, more just communicating, connecting, and trying to navigate your business and see what's needed and what's not needed, and not sell you things that you don't need. But that's what I'm trying to do with my business and everything.
That makes sense. And I agree with you. And that's kind of something we're seeing as well, in a way, as a trend. And I know we're not jumping into the trends yet, but that is something
Yes.
I'm hearing a lot, right? Just a lot of automation, a lot of almost like a loss of personal relationship building that is still very much needed, especially in the tech space where, there's really more push in general for, machine learning and AI and automation and, and all of that. So it's good that you're looking at it this way, because I am hearing from other leaders that outbound marketing specifically to generate leads is almost like has been almost completely fully automated to the point that it's not really effective anymore. And the true effective way of getting just more traction is relationship building, giving value first,
There's a
doing
lot of
something.
irony in that, to use technology to get people, but the technology works against them, so they need people again. It's kind of interesting.
Definitely. I've heard, I mean, I definitely agree with this trend because I'm in marketing and sales. So everything you shared is literally what we're applying, right? We're trying to offer more personalization, build relationships rather than, and really give free support at the beginning in order to gain trust. So this is kind of right there in line with what we do, what we see working, but also what I'm hearing from other leaders who see that as working as well.
Pressure-free
persuasion. Sorry?
Pressure-free persuasion.
Exactly. But yeah, we're definitely, I think those two, and again, just gathering from the interviews, we're kind of going to go back to this at some point because I think we went too far into the automation and scaling, something that should probably deserve more in person and that should be more relationship based. So this
I
is
agree
nice
with
that you're bringing this up. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that because, like, for me, I feel that there's certain things that should be automated. That people shouldn't be staying there, doing mundane jobs because they're not really serving a purpose for themselves, their company, or mankind when they're doing that. So some things should be automated, but other things need more like a human touch. Give them a purpose, actually doing something, and like being purposeful within their job and what they're doing. So yeah.
100%. Yeah. Cool. Well, maybe we can continue on the trend topic. Aside from, yeah, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Yeah. Are you seeing any trends maybe in your space that are worth noting? And I know maybe you're kind of you've started your company like more recently than years ago, but I'm still curious about your perspective in terms of what you're seeing as big trends and any winds blowing.
So there actually is one, if we were talking about the automation AI, there's a lot of AI companies coming out. They're kind of working on taking over cold calling, for example, because they're so conversational. A lot of the times you can't really tell if it is a human or not. But when you start talking with them, you kind of see there's a little bit of a disconnect, almost like you're talking to someone overseas or something. So you can kind of see that, but a lot of people are starting to use that because sales is so expensive and it's so mundane trying to reach out and talk to people, but they're trying their best to create these AI to actually do that for them. And I've actually talked with some of those companies that are using them as well. I've actually looked into one as well, but I'm kind of like really hesitant with that. But a lot of people are trying to do that now.
Yes, definitely. In your experience of those you've used, what do you think was the main, because I can see you're like reluctant. Do you think it's because of just the nature of it and or do you feel like it's just not executed uh, as well as someone a human being doing that?
Well, I know from my perspective how I feel and my reasoning versus what I've seen from others completely different. So I've seen from others, they're trying to figure out ways to save money, drive sales, and also at the same time keep their margins low. And also they want to try and a lot of them want to get on that AI automation bandwagon, like, oh, we're a tech company. This is the next big thing. Let's do it. So where's the human aspect and all that? It just pretty much leaves. So within like MSPs, for example, that human aspect has been leaving over the years, and people are not treating each other like humans how they should. So then they add that tech in, so they're getting further away from humanity itself. I know for me, I was looking into using it because I suck at cold calling. It frustrates the hell out of me. I'm good at talking to people like this, but when it goes to trying to persuade them to buy or do something, I'm still learning how to do that myself. And I was like, I'll just throw money and tech at it. Why not? But I have to forget I base my business on humans helping humans. So I have to really watch how I define that for myself and my business.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's definitely a good point. And I think you're just from the feedback I'm getting from everyone I've interviewed, there is that reluctance. I don't think I think there's ways that AI can help us, like maybe be more productive and things like that, but
100%.
we're still nowhere close to the full potential of AI being possible. We're not there yet. I think we're behind, which is which is fine, but still, I think there needs to be a little bit more just awareness around what is it that AI can really do and what it can't do yet.
Or what it should be doing. And
or should be doing. Exactly.
Yeah.
How to best use it in a way that really makes sense. So yeah, I was talking to a co-founder this morning that was also a big topic, and he said the same thing, right? Just lots of reluctance around adopting AI for things that should inherently be done by human beings. So
yes.
cool. Any other trends, big topics you're seeing right now? Any winds blowing?
Well, I know for myself, so I'm kind of just getting started in the space. It's kind of what made me start my business. Is that there's a lot of companies that don't really understand or see a need for cybersecurity or anything but just being reactive and having an IT only department. They're not understanding that. They're having the old days where all you needed was IT and that's it. But the landscape has changed in the world, especially for cybersecurity. You need a team or an MSP or someone else helping you manage that. It's being proactive now. And the example, companies I've worked with, they don't really see or get that just yet. I'm trying to like help them with that to understand that more and see they can't do it on their own. They shouldn't have to do it on their own.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
know, like cybersecurity, it's come a long way, but it still has a long way to go because there's still this whole thing that, oh, this is too technical for me to adopt or understand. We don't need to do this. But you see healthcare places getting hacked and everything all the time. And people are just kind of like, okay, but not doing anything about it still. So
Yeah, and that's the trend in cybersecurity across the board for a lot of industries. I think healthcare is probably it's a more sensitive one. So if there's any if there's one industry that should probably invest more, it would be probably healthcare, just because of the nature of the information that they have. This is absolutely critical.
It's highly sensitive, and they just don't get that.
Yeah, and there's other companies, of course, in other industries that are most of them at this point are at risk because they haven't invested in the right infrastructure to have some security. But it is a trend we're seeing across the board. People or companies they're kind of waiting until something happens to take it seriously. And even then, I'm not even like sometimes they still don't do anything. It's
I
a
have
tough one.
experienced that with the company. They got hacked. They had things happen to them, and they didn't get a fine luckily, but they were told to do these certain things, have these things in place. They still
Yes.
haven't done it. They're just like, oh, well, we skated by. It's fine. And it's that knowledge of understanding it, they just don't really, it doesn't connect. So a huge disconnect. And I'm
Yeah, for
hopefully trying
sure.
to help fill that gap, but I can't just do it alone. It's all of us like working together, making stuff like content like this and trying to figure it
Yeah,
out,
for
being
sure, for sure.
proactive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. I wish I had some advice here. Cybersecurity is usually a bit of a tough one to sell, but
Yes.
um, it's always it's something that's going to be needed. Maybe it's like really still early in the adoption process, and it's just going to get bigger as an industry, which I have no doubt.
Yeah.
It's just companies are not there yet, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, and yet lots of education also helps. That's how we like to do our marketing for our partners. Education first. Otherwise, it's there. I mean, we're not even nobody's gonna be taken
Education
seriously.
is free. People pay for implementation. So
Yes,
yes.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. Um, cool. Any other topics, trends you're noticing?
Hmm. Not for me at this time. I probably have to think about it. I'm sure there are, but on the spot, not at this time. No. I
Yeah.
mean, those
Do
are
you
ones
have,
I'm dealing with every day.
yeah. Do you have any questions maybe for me around um anything you're curious about, like in terms of trends that maybe I had discussions about with
I
other
would,
leaders? Like I'm
I
happy
would like
to
to know
to
what else
share.
they talked about. They'll help me learn
Hmm.
as well. Yes, I'd love for you to share.
Yes. Yeah, cybersecurity is a big one. AI obviously is a huge topic. Came up every single time. Right now, there's I think more in the SaaS space. There's definitely um, maybe. Are you curious more about maybe managed services, especially IT? Because I did speak to a couple of people, and
So
they
that is
had
my
more.
space that I'm
Yeah, yeah.
into. So
That's gonna
yes.
make more sense. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I'm trying to remember. So IT managed services. Uh, from what I've heard, there's just longer sales cycles than it used to
Yes.
be. We're seeing that a lot across the board, but that's also true for managed services. Just a longer time to get things approved. Longer time to, there's more key decision makers being involved in the process. Um, Buyers are more sophisticated. They um, wouldn't jump as fast on saying yes to something than they used to in the past. And I think that's probably due to several factors. First of all, uh, um, the state of the economy, higher interest rates, all these things are kind of impacting the decision making process that a lot of these companies have. So they're more careful where they invest, and that as a result, the sales cycle can be longer. That's a big one we're hearing. Um, Customer acquisition is tougher than it used to be. That's another one that I've been hearing consistently over and over again. There's a lot more focused on retention. So making sure clients are satisfied, happy, making sure that companies are cross-selling, upselling, and really using like just doing more expansion with existing clients than going after new clients, because going after clients now is more expensive. It's a little bit more challenging because of these different reasons, right?
Yes. I've
Like,
experienced that.
yeah, I'm sure it's I've heard it from small businesses to large ones. It's something that everyone is going through. So it's just the state of the market today. Another one that I heard for IT is when working as a service provider, like a managed services provider, it's usually like when there's new software being implemented, or like there's a big project to be worked on, there should be involvement from all the different teams. And oftentimes IT is left kind of last. And when the project starts, we're seeing some hurdles and challenges with IT not being brought in the process at the very beginning when it should have. So platforms not communicating or not integrating properly. So I remember someone telling me that who's in
I've
kind of
experienced
does
that
something.
recently. So yes, I knew that was a trend. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I've been working,
definitely.
fighting tooth and nail with a company right now to kind of get them like, hey, IT needs to be included. Because if they
Yes,
don't, you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure. And time
yes.
again, they just fail and don't meet that mark because they didn't. So I do see that.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
I'm not
100%.
alone.
And
Cool.
yeah, no, you're not alone. I like sharing some tidbits of
Yes.
information here and there, and then I can see like people are like, oh, okay, it's not just me. So yeah, it's definitely something we're seeing. So and again, I mean, some of these managed service companies are they have like 1,000 employees, and they are facing the same challenge as other smaller companies. So it's definitely across the board. It's probably a cultural thing, right? Company culture. IT is kind of involved last when they should be involved at the very beginning because it makes a huge difference on how the project is structured and
Yeah, they're
infrastructure. The
very
infrastructure is
reactive,
created.
not
Yes,
proactive.
a good
Yep.
one. Yeah. Um, yeah, these are kind of the big ones. I'm trying to think. We talked about the um yeah, I think these are the main ones. And yes, I think another one is it's really it goes back into like being reactive rather than proactive. Um, Definitely companies just don't prioritize things and projects that are IT related the way they should be prioritizing it. Um,
Hmm.
Offshoring. Offshoring is a big one. Offshoring IT people is a trend, and unfortunately, I think it's case by case, but sometimes, it's not the right talent, even if they're offshored, to work on the IT department, and that creates, as a result, bigger issues. That's another one I've been hearing, and
I
that's
can see that.
clearly a big trend that's ongoing for sure.
It's funny you mentioned that one because I've actually gotten a lot of calls from some of those companies, like in the Philippines and stuff, trying to get
Yeah.
me to get talent for administrative assistants or virtual assistants through those kind of
Mm,
programs. So
yes.
yeah, and I've experienced some of them where the big human, even if they are human, there's kind of a cultural disconnect compared
Mm,
to America or another country, how they talk and interact with people on the phone.
mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, these are the big ones. Um,
Woo! That's it? That's all you got? Damn.
yeah, I mean, at some point you realize that everyone is saying the same thing. So even though I went through probably 20 interviews, uh, they're like 80%, 85% the same thing being said over and over again. Sometimes there's like little tidbits of information that is newer, but it's not like it's one person that said it. Is it really a trend? I'm not sure. These are kind of the things we hear consistently. But overall, there's not 100 trends. It's definitely like five, six, seven big ones that are being shared by everybody almost
Nice.
unanimously. Mm.
Yeah, all those make are pretty accurate, all of those. I experienced pretty much
Yeah,
90% of those. I just didn't realize that other people were experiencing them. So that's a little bit of relief. But now it's kind of
for
like
sure.
comes down to what do we do to combat and help to fill that gap of that for companies? How do we create space to help them achieve better than that? What do we do?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on which parts. There's definitely a lot of room for growth and improvements. But yeah, I mean, it's I think companies that are going to emerge as the winners are the ones that are going to solve some of
I'm
these.
Hopefully,
challenges.
I can be one of those.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's what I'm working towards. I definitely see those challenges. So
Yeah.
you
Do you
gotta
have
be
any?
great
Do you have?
leadership to do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have clients that you're like that are active right now, or are you kind of still at
I
the
have a
early
few that are
stage?
active right now. Yes, I'm trying to grow that more. So
Mm.
yes, but I've experienced that with a few of them. I still have some break fix clients because I just recently switched to managed services like a year ago. They're still
Hmm.
kind of new. So I still have the old ones. I'm trying to bring them to the new and trying to explain to them how proactive is better. And it's a challenge. They just don't see it. They don't get it. Some of them may never get it. Some of them may get infiltrated or hacked and whatnot and still not see the light, you know? But as long as we can help some of them at least,
Mm.
help just one, they'll be okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just lots of education. It's
Yes.
education, 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 and not everyone is
Sometimes,
going to listen, but a
yeah,
portion
sometimes
will.
am I educating myself? I'm trying to educate them. I feel like I'm going in circles, you know?
Yeah,
But yes.
yeah. Well, cool. I don't think I have any other questions. This was great. It was really nice chatting
Amazing.
with
I'm
you.
like, whoa, what is this even better than I thought? I thought it'd be like a few questions. Okay, bye. Next, you know.
No,
That was
it's
actually really
nice.
nice.
Yeah, it's nice to connect with people, and I want to
Yeah,
also make it valuable for your time. Like if you're sitting with
yeah,
me for like half an hour, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing things that could be helpful to you. But yeah, these are casual and formal and fun and nice. But
yes.
yeah, for sure, it was great talking to you, and
Really great talking to you
um,
too.
for sure, and hopefully we can stay in.
Thank you for watching till the end. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below so we can continue the conversation.